gift I want to pass on to you. The weak, the downtrodden, the persecuted and the enslaved. Join our brotherhood. You too will be immortal, invulnerable, untouched by disease or age for all time. Ready to lead the world into a golden future of light, beauty, and unceasing joy.
It's a privilege that few game developers get to have, is to do a director's cut of your game and sort of, I don't know, craft it even more so, and go back on those kind of things that perhaps you weren't 100% happy with. Can you tell us a little bit about Wasteland 2 and the director's cut that you're bringing out?
Yeah, how lucky are we, right? We get to work on a game, comes out, we're #1 on Steam, we're very happy with how it went, then we get to spend another 9 months on it. So yeah, so with the director's cut, we've decided that we want to put some good time into making sure that the controls were as solid as possible. So we gave ourselves a nice long development time. And throughout that time, we were able to go back and upgrade the engine. So now we're using Unity 5, which allows us to use physically based rendering, right? So we went through all of the different environments and upgraded the materials in the environments, brand new character models throughout. You're going to see a new perks and quirk system, which during character creation gives you a lot more customization for all of your characters. So now you can select a quirk, which has a very unique modifier, a positive and a negative to your characters. It really allows you to modify the gameplay experience. The perks are all positive. Those are unlocked as you go through the game. And again, just allows you to apply different types of customization. If you want to make a ranger a little bit quicker, you can choose a combat speed one, or a little more deadly, maybe you can go for action points, more accuracy, something like that.
And the quirks, I think it's almost like you're sort of adding that sort of, in parts, like almost a humorous effect to it. It's like you don't really know what you're gonna get with some of these quirks.
Yeah, we decided, with the quirks, it was a gameplay modifier. They're not necessary, they're not mandatory to play, so we had a little fun with them, right? So we've got one that's manic depressive, and it's every 15 minutes, the modifier changes on all of your attributes. So you might gain a couple points of strength, for the next 15 minutes and feel big and bulky, able to carry a lot more, and the next thing you know, the downside hits and you've lost all of that. So now your character is encumbered, and you've got to just keep adjusting for all of those weird things.
And it's really like, that is sort of completely different from how you would sort of normally play the game, because normally you would sort of build your strength, you would sort of play the character that you want. Now you got to be able to sort of adjust to anything at any point, and it's a very different experience for the player.
Yeah, and that was kind of the idea, and each one of them has something different that it brings. We've got another one that, again, going back to it being a little bit silly sometimes, right, where there's just a random chance for lightning to strike anywhere around you. It could be you in combat, it could be somebody else, it could be your pets, but it just, again, it modifies and it tweaks the experience. With Wasteland, the game is all about choice and consequence, right? Huge amounts of reactivity, and some of the difficulty of that is sometimes when you're playing through the first time, you don't really see that because it's just kind of, it feels like a normal playthrough, but the world is reacting to what you're doing. So with this, we're kind of trying to incentivize people to go back, try some of these new things, and then also try the different puzzles and situations differently and see how the world modifies.
I guess it's also like a perfect fit with the way you're bringing out this director's cut to anyone who's got the PC version, and presumably they've already finished the game, so it sort of adds something to them to play it again.
Yeah, exactly. We knew, we had over 60,000 backers during our Kickstarter, and most of them have gone in and played through quite a bit of the game. And so when we upgrade to all of these new features, everyone that's purchased a copy of Wasteland 2 will get the director's cut for free, and hopefully it gives them a chance. We want to promote them going in, seeing the new art that we're really proud of, and really giving it a chance again, trying one more time.
And well, how's the fit with consoles and Wasteland? Because it's not something that you'd think of immediately, but I tried it and it works fine. So how was that sort of getting it mapped onto a controller and sort of adjusting what needed to adjust?
Yeah, it was one of those things that we looked at it and we thought back to all of the turn-based isometric games that we played. XCOM immediately came to mind, right? I played that on the 360 and thought it was a great experience. So started playing around with that and seeing what they did with the controls. Just recently got done playing Diablo 3 on there, and their UI is just so clean, right? So we certainly draw from a lot of other influences in the area and make sure that we're taking the things that we really enjoy about those systems and making sure our systems have it. And then we've got a lot of unique other elements, right? So we approached every single unique system, from combat to the user interface to skill usage, as if, we kind of took a step back and said, if we were doing this thing from the ground up, right? Forget that we have a PC version out there. If this was starting today, what would we do with it? And so luckily we had the time to go through each system and really give it what it deserves.
Seems you're having really busy times at InXile these days. You got your ongoing Bard's Tale Kickstarter. You got Torment that's coming out. I don't know when, but it's not that far away. So, what's the atmosphere right now, and sort of what's going on there?
Yeah, we're loving it, man. We're hitting our sweet spot. I keep saying that going through development the Kickstarter way has totally changed making games for us. I was thinking back to 6 years ago, and you'd be sitting there and making a game, and you'd know your mythical audience is out there somewhere, and they're between 18 and 24 years old, and you have no idea who these people are, but you're making a game for them. The game comes out, and then you see what happened, right? Well, now, as soon as we go through that Kickstarter process, we've got 60,000 passionate people that are sending us private messages. We're hearing personal stories about them. We had somebody that proposed to his girlfriend in Wasteland. He bought a statue and actually wanted to propose to her that way. We had a guy say, I have to have an NPC in the game. I don't know how I'm going to pay rent next month, but that's what it means to me. So it puts a lot of pressure, right? I mean, you immediately get a connection to, well, we can't screw this up. This is something that people really care about. And so it's very motivating, scary and motivating. So I think, all of us are just absolutely loving, working that closely with the crowd, being able to vet design decisions and show off different elements of the game and make sure that we're on the right path the entire time.
And I guess not only that, but the transparency actually sort of adds something to the development as well, because you're learning with the audience.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stuff. We'll put something out, and we like to look for patterns, right? And so you see how much people are talking about different elements, and we've made changes through a lot of stuff. Just seeing that, sometimes you get a lot of people together talking about something, and they'll break it down. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to read, right? Because people work really hard on this, but no doubt it makes the game better. So you kind of have to just adopt a little bit of a thick skin, go, this is all for the better of the game, right? And just work with it. And I think we've done a pretty good job there.
And maybe you can, the Bard's Tale obviously far ahead, Torment's coming out at some point, but we're getting the Director's Cut of Wasteland 2 when?
Yes, Director's Cut is going to be out in late summer. We don't have an exact release date yet, but I would imagine something will be out on that in the next month or so.
Thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Too will wear the armor of the Guardians. Always and forever.